A Royal Ride, Catherine the Great's Great Invention, by Christine Fulton and illustrated by Lucy Fleming. A nominee for the Washington Children's Choice Picture Book Award. As read by the Lake Stevens Middle School Remote Drama Club.
Catherine, the great Empress of Russia, wasn't born in Russia, but she loved everything about the country.
Catherine believed that everyone should be educated, not just boys or the wealthy. She formed the first school for girls in Russia, and she sponsored the University of Moscow.
Learning about art, culture, and history of Russia was important to all citizens, so Catherine directed the building of Hermitage Museum.
But when winter came, Catherine's mind sometimes wandered. Snowflakes falling, temperatures dropping, and the icy mantle that covered the land. She loved it all. She found it hard to concentrate.
Because the beginning of winter meant ice slides, people lined the streets of St. Petersburg waiting for a royal sign. A wave of Catherine's hand would declare ice slide season officially open.
In her jeweled tiara and tapestry gown, Catherine rushed to her own private sled. She climbed the stepladder and nestled onto her sled. With the reins held tight, she bolted, barreled, and breezed 600 feet down a solid sheet of ice.
But every spring, the fun came to an end. The sun shone so bright and hot that it melted the snow and ice, washing the slides away. There were no more descents or thrilling rides.
For the next 6 months, the Queen wondered what she would do. Build a hospital? Open a theater? Write her memoirs?
Catherine wanted more. She called the royal builders and made a most royal request. The builders had built schools, palaces, and museums under Catherine's order, but now she wanted them to build a new kind of slide.
She wanted to sail through the air, and she didn't want to wait until winter. We can't! There's no ice! It's too hot! There had to be a way to soar in the sun.
Grabbing parchment and quill, Catherine drew what she imagined.
Gilded beams as high as a mountain, golden stairs that spiraled all the way to the top. With one last flourish, Catherine's design was complete. Giving the sketches to the builders, she ordered them to work.
Day after day, the royal gardeners filled with supplies and tools from the palace. Catherine glanced and gazed and glared. Wood? The builders couldn't use wood. There must be some mistake.
Where was the gold she envisioned? Where were the diamonds and the rubies befitting an empress? If she slid on wood, her royal bum would be filled with splinters and aches.
Summoning the builders, she questioned each one. Everyone agreed that the Queen's idea was ingenious, but gold was too soft. They had to use wood. They promised the Empress that her safety and comfort were their number one concerns. The builders returned to work.
As Catherine awaited her royal ride, there was still so much to do. She had a country to rule. She sent her army off to war. She purchased statues. She moved into a new castle, and she even wrote a book. But the builders weren't done.
Finally, one late summer day, her royal ride was ready. With her ladies-in-waiting trailing behind, Catherine rushed to the gardens. She was the first in line.
She climbed up 40 feet in the air. Catherine stopped to catch her breath. Then she climbed to the top amidst all the stairs.
At the top, Catherine stared at her fandangled carriage. The gems glittered just for her. She was the Empress after all. Catherine took a deep breath, leaped on, and she was ready to whirl.
With a shove and the whoosh of the wind, Katherine plunged, plummeted, and plowed to the bottom. She rolled and coasted to the end of the track, her daring descent the thrill of the ride.
Katherine had no idea that her man-made Russia mountain was the world's first roller coaster.
But Empress Catherine, the great ruler of Russia, knew one thing for sure.
She was ready to go again and again and again.
Author's notes. Yes, Catherine the Great is credited for the invention of the roller coaster.
But it took over 100 years before it evolved into what we know today as the loop speeding, plunging roller coaster.
Through the years, engineers have tweaked, added, and improved on. A French engineer added a pulley system that would hoist each carriage back up to the top.
A British engineer added a loop, but the cart had to be going very fast, or it would drop in the middle of the loop.
Finally, an American engineer, Lamarcus Adna Thompson, received a patent for the roller coaster and added a motor that kept the cart powered through the entire ride.
In many languages today, the word roller coaster is translated as Russian mountains.